welcome back to Toy Art. My name is Zach Kinsella, I'm your host, and it has been a long stinking time. Just want to say first and foremost, thank you so much if you subscribed and have kept subscribed in all those months that I've been gone. A lot changed in my world, but most excellently, look at this mustache. It just gets better and better. I found some mustache wax, and I'm going full Huckleberry here, if you know what I'm saying. So, anyways, welcome back to Toy Art. We're going to talk about the art of action figures, the art of toys and independent toys specifically today. One of the reasons I started this channel is because I really wanted to talk about like independent toys and all the cool stuff like in galleries that I've been seeing, but not only in galleries, just ordering. You know, I think it started off, my awareness of it started off with the actual Masters of the Universe customizing between a lot of my queer friends. And I was like, dude, this is cool. You guys are really into this. And like being a Masters of the Universe nerd, I was like, yeah, I have to have some of these. And then the crossover with Masters of the Universe and like bootleg WWF figures. So good. So good. So I want to take today to talk about, in our opener for season 2, is my friend Neil Ewing's Bombastic Plastic. So he's known as Bombastic Plastic in the toy making community, and he gifted me this bad mamma jamma, this Muck Man monster. Actually, I think it's called Muck Marsh Monster. Let's get that right. Let's at least get the toy name right. So this is Neil Ewing's Muck Marsh Monster. And I'll bring it forward and close. Make sure you can see it all right. He is a beaut. We are going to go deep diving with this bad mamma jamma here. I'm so stoked to have one of these. It's like one of the pinnacles of my toy collection. I'll be honest with you. I love all these action figures from big corporate sources, I guess. But it's the small ones, especially the independent ones. I am an independent creator. You know, not only just this content, but also my comics are independent. We source everything on Kickstarter, right? So, crowdfunded toys, independent toys, Sofubi, as you might know it as, super up my alley. So, we're going to talk about this guy for the rest of this video, so let's jump in. So, some things that I really dig about this sculpt here is just... look how grody he is. Like, he's awesome. Like, this is so cool. Like, even the places that I talked about that have negative space have like all these little bumps on them. He is just a wonderful looking figure. I'm so absolutely impressed with my friend's work here. Okay, so we saw the full turnaround of this character. Now I want to talk about the sculpt. And really, like, the sculpt is such a rich one. This is where, like, you know, being an independent sculptor with no one, like, lording over your head, this is where like all the crazy, wonderful art comes out. And it makes me want to make my own character. I know it's a very hard and difficult process, but this just looks so cool. Like, how could you not be into this? So let's bring him up a little bit closer here so you can see his sculpt. I'm going to come around the torso, then the bottom part here. You can see like all these little overgrown mushrooms, like the spirals that make up his elbow. And over here you can see like the fungi growing up here. You can even see like little faces right over there popping out. The back has some really cool like crustacean vibes on through here. You can really see in the details right up here that's all bumped up, and like it really invokes Neil's original sketch. And I love that like these wiry looking mushrooms also like kind of repeat here in the ribs. That's a cool sculpting point, right? And yes, he only has 5 points of articulation, but you know, whatever. Like, I didn't buy this to have like a superposable 20 points of articulation deluxe bad mamma jamma here. That's a different vibe. So you can see like all this like works underneath his cool like crustacean armor. It also works right up into the head here with his really cool like mushroom mustache. I think they're mushrooms. They look like grody mushrooms, and I don't like mushrooms, so I'm going to work in that. As we come down further, you can see this really cool like loincloth action going on over here. It's hard to see, but every little fiber is sculpted. And that's just a lot to think about here. It's like there's a lot that went into this character. And there's no slouch, even underneath bottom over here, places that most people wouldn't usually look. There's sculpting, right? And it's an awkward angle, but bear with me. Coming down, there's a lot of negative space back behind here, but he peppers it in with things that continue from the top of the figure, like the little gross barnacles with the eyes. And then again, a couple little of those mushrooms working their way down to the full reveal of having them right on the bottom of his feet. And then make up into like his toes, so to speak. And then he has that same spiral crustacean look right here on his knee pads. The side angle of these, man, like there's so much work that went into those. Even in the empty spots, you can see little dots here of detail. It's truly remarkable. And I also think one thing that makes him stand out here as well is the fact that like he has different like eyes right here, like the yellow, the red, the purple, all harmonize into a really cool figure face that really pops for me. Like he's a grungy, grody looking dude, but man, so cool. And of course, Neil signed it, numbered it. This was a paint test one that he gave me, which I am just over the moon because I think the paint on this one really freaking rocks. So let's talk about paint here for a moment. What we have right over here is mainly like a teal with like some more like dark greens, or light greens, excuse me, dark greens. And then with some brown right over here to break it up. Like it's a nice breakup of the body, right? Like that brown is never shown, like the Tudor brown is never shown anywhere else on the figure, but it invokes the darkness of the eyes, which are a nice deep purple. And same with that mouth, that fearsome mouth. What I really think works about the paint is like just how it fades into the actual like blue molding so well. Like there's some paint peppered in here. I think the paint test really came out knocking it out here. I just think he looks really cool. You can see some chrome-esque paint here on the loincloth to give it a little more shine and make it stand out a little bit more. And I think that's really awesome, honestly. Like, I think he came out to be a phenomenal figure here. So, last couple things I want to say about the artwork of this character. Right, what really stands out to me is, again, this invokes Neil's art style so much that it couldn't be mistaken for anyone but him. And I've been a fan of his work for a long time. Honestly, we've been friends for a long time, too. So I'm definitely being biased here, but at the same time, I don't see anything else out there in this world like it. I see things that are like, that can be like a little similar, but in the soft toy world, like Neil's really come a long way and has really put a lot of heart and effort into making successful toys. And I just love seeing that, like, you know, he's definitely been knocked down a few pegs by some criticisms that I don't think were warranted. But at the same time, that's with all art. You get crappy critiques. This guy keeps getting back up and making cool toys. And they're only going to get better. Like, the difference between making a couch and then coming up a few years later and making, like, a Muck monster, it's night and day, honestly, as far as sculpts go, and I can tell he's put so much love into this. So, those are my thoughts on the sculpt, the paint, and a couple little more art things at the end here. Let's go wrap it up. So, final thoughts, really. This is just a wonderful figure. Like, it's so cool to have one of these, like, in hand. And, you know, like, I'll just grab a Primeval here. Like, you can kind of see some of the scale. Like, this one's not small. And one thing I really wanted to put out there with Neil's work is the fact that, like, how hard this guy goes in. I'm going to have him on my channel soon. We'll do, like, a little interview. It'll be really cool. But, like, the glow up from his first initial offerings to this, you know, it's such a wonderful thing to see your friends grow and progress as artists, and I'm so proud of them. I hope you can catch it in my face here that I love this. It's a huge part of my collection, and it goes right next to my 1989 Game Boy. Two things I love, toys and games. So, again, Neil Ewing, Ewing. You can find him on Instagram, Twitter, as a Niesler, I think, something like that. I'll post some links here at the very end. But this has been Toy Art. I'm back rocking your world, talking about action figures, and hopefully you love this little dive into the independents for a quick moment. Now, you can find what YouTube wants you to see and my last video over here on the left or the right. We'll figure it out. It's fine. Make sure you subscribe, notifications, all that good stuff. I would love to have more of y'all here rolling with me. If you have independent toys, talk to me about them in the comments below. Let's get this going. Thank you so much. Take care.